You are live. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Heads Up Mental Clarity with Michelle and Stephanie. We're going to
Hi.
allow some people to get in. People have not jumped on yet, so we're going to wait for some people to jump on. Um, yeah, we're going to wait for some people to jump on. I'll put a message out here now. We got one person I see. Uh,
Nice.
okay. Got five people watching. How you guys doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome to Heads Up Mental Clarity, where we are going to be discussing addictive behaviors. Please put your questions or comments. This is a dialogue between me and my girlfriend and you. So please put your comments in the chat in the comment section so that we can see what you have to say and answer any questions that you might have. Okay. Hope I'm not messing anything up here. It's already going.
You see it going?
I just didn't want to start it on my phone too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to be talking about addictive behaviors. Come on in and join us. Please share this with everyone. I want to see if it's sharing on Facebook right this minute. Make sure that we are live and we are sharing. Yes, we are. We are live and we are sharing.
Yay.
Yay. Okay. Um, and we're going to be talking about addictive behaviors. And I know in the past we've been a little bit formal about our discussion, and we're going to always keep it professional. However, it's going to be a discussion. So, you guys, jump in if you have anything that you would like to say. If you have any comments, please jump in. We're going to always keep it professional. However, I got an
You
echo.
go, you go.
Didn't mean to have an echo there. Yeah, so we're going to talk about addictive behaviors and the different types of addictive behaviors. And we're going to give you the knowledge that we have. Anything that we don't know or can't answer at the moment, we will get that answer for you because
Yeah,
we don't profess to know everything, but we are going to share everything that we know. How about that? Oh, I like
exactly.
that. We don't profess to know everything, but we're going to share everything we know with
Everything
them.
that we know. I
Yes.
know. And I'm going to be very transparent. I left my notes at home and I had some really good downloads today, but we'll see what happens. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm ready.
You are
I've
ready.
been through this. I've been on this journey. So I think I got a little bit
Oh,
more than
okay.
just some
And I,
book
and I think
knowledge.
that I also think that a lot of us who maybe not may not be thinking about it have also seen some of this journey, but we don't think about it as an addictive behavior. We think about substance and things like that, but we don't think about sex um, and that type of behavior. We don't think
Hmm.
about that, right? So, but yes, you got the floor, my sister. You got the floor because we're gonna be talking about addictions today and addictive behaviors. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna let you start off, honey.
So, hello, good evening, everyone, and thank you for hanging out with us this evening. So, I wanted to mention, just kind of list some of the most common addictions, and these are also some addictions that Michelle and I, work with in our practice,
Yeah.
and so you may be surprised. I mean, some of you may not be surprised because some of these addictions are so such a societal norm that
Yeah.
people don't consider them addictive, and then there's that gray line between am I addicted or am I not addicted. I know one part of my journey when I was going through my divorce and I was like having to have a glass of wine every single night. I was like, Michelle, I think I got a problem. And she was like, how many glasses of wine you drink? I was like, just one when I come home. She was like, we need to check it out. Let's look at the DSM. But so and my answer to that is, I'm just gonna stop drinking. I'm gonna stop drinking. And I gave myself like 60 days, 90 days. I'm like, I'm just not gonna drink, because I just felt that need to have a glass of wine. Not to mention, I was introduced to some amazing wine, and it was just delicious to my mouth. And so it was just like when I got home from work, I just wanted to have a glass of wine, and I had started thinking like, is it addiction? Am I addicted? And so I'm sharing that to say that when you have a thought in your mind, you get to decide. That's the beauty
Yes.
of this. You get to decide. Well, I don't want to call it an addiction, but I want to get. I want. Oh, I won't call it.
I'm like, girl, you're not addicted. It's not affecting our relationship. It's
That's
not affecting your relationship at home. You still going to work every
that's
day.
right. You're going to work. You're going to school. Doing
However,
your internship. But
if
I
it's
was
a
just like,
problem for you, it's a problem. If you feel like
it's a
it's a
problem for
problem,
you.
it's a
Yes.
problem.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. And you get to call that thing a thing. So let me just let
My daughter passing through here squeezing by me with her cup of coffee in the evening time. Anyway,
smelling
we're not
good.
gonna
Hey, Raya.
Hey, Monique's here too.
Hey, Monique. Hello. So alcohol, tobacco, and nicotine, drugs like over-the-counter prescriptions, legal or illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, legal or illegal. Gambling, coffee. I don't think that's real. I think that's a typographical error. Um, food, video games, internet, and social media, which I'm getting a lot of that in my practice since
Yes, we
COVID.
are too.
That has been super, like a lot. I'm super shocked. I mean, I kind of knew it with teenagers, but adults, that's deep. Um, sex and pornography, shopping, and work.
Sugar. They left that off the list, but
Well, they
sugar.
said food, but
I
sugar should be in a class all by
all by
itself, like
itself.
alcohol. Yeah, I
Yes.
agree. Sugar
Yes.
should be.
Yes. I say sugar because that's me. And it's like, well, it's not affecting my personal life. It's not affecting my job. No, sugar
Mhm,
is a yeah, big no no.
mhm, mhm. And
Yeah.
and I don't know, I haven't read any notes, but I consider something to be an addiction when it's hard to let it go. When
Yes.
you notice that it's not there and you get headache or you're irritable,
Yes.
you might
Yes.
have an addictive personality in that arena with that particular thing. And you do well to pay attention.
Yes.
So if you can go, I have an addiction to, I'm very transparent about this stuff. Coffee. I
Mm-hmm.
have an addiction to the buzz of coffee. My father used to say something like, well, it sounds like, because I was telling him about Starbucks when they first opened. He was like, well, it sounds like you're using those for medicinal reasons. I was like, exactly. That's it. Medicinal. Coffee is medicinal for me. And I've been this way for a long time. So coffee, and I say coffee, I'm using my experience to say that when I don't have coffee, it's not a good day for me. I'm
Yeah.
not. I don't make it bad for other people because I've done some work. But before, it would not be a good day. So that's how you know. Like, am I irritable? Can I, is it? It doesn't impact. It does not impact my family. Doesn't impact my comings and goings. Although I will make a trip around the block further out than I have to get where I'm going to get that thing. That's addictive personality.
Okay.
Getting right to the edge, like, oh, I got 15 minutes. I can run in there and get this coffee and come on out before I have to get to my meeting. Um,
Yes.
and try to still be on time. And sometimes, like, making it just barely when that is not my personality. I am an early bird. I like to show up early, set up, and get things done. But when I want my coffee, I have recognized that I have a tendency I can do that. So those are some like really
Yeah.
minor behaviors, but I just wanted to just kind of be transparent and say that that's it too.
Yeah.
Sugar is another one that gives you withdrawals when you no longer have it in the system. That means the body is cleansing itself. The
Yeah.
body is telling you, hallelujah, thank you for not putting that in me.
Yeah.
Um,
But
so
you
those
know
are
what,
just
Steph? What I find too, the flip side of that is when you start to get the like the cravings and the urges or whatever, the body is doing two things. It's saying, thank you, get it out of here. But on the other hand, it's like, what are you doing? Bring
yes,
it back.
make me
Why are you
feel
doing this
good.
to us? Yeah.
Make me feel
Yeah.
good. What are we doing here? Yes, I
Course
agree.
it does.
I agree.
But
I agree.
if you can just outlive
The
the
urges.
cravings and the
Mhm.
urge of withdrawals, it's heaven on the
Mhm.
other side. Now,
Mhm.
I don't minimize what it means for people and how hard it is. And we're talking about coffee and sugar.
Sugar.
Can you imagine
Right.
something
We
so
late on the
hard?
journey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
We
yes, Lord.
lightweight on the journey, but
Yeah.
I know it's real. Um, I I had an experience with someone. This is how I describe urges for certain addictions. Um, I had an experience. I was in a relationship, a very long term relationship with my husband, my first husband, where there was addiction there, and so therefore I didn't know nothing about addiction. At least I didn't think I knew anything about addiction. But um, now that I'm a therapist, I had a lot to do with attracting that type of person. But I went to drug rehabilitation for myself because my partner
Yes.
was on drugs. And one of the things that was so cool that I kind of came up with after learning about addiction is that when my partner, my ex husband, was sober for like, I don't know, 2, 3 years, like he was good. Um, and then one day, he went to pick up the kids from school, and his cousin had a resource for him, and was a resource for him. And whatever reason, I don't know what happened in that day. I don't know how it happened, but he went and bought the drugs, and I could smell the drugs on my kid's coat when I
Mm,
got home from work. And one of the things that I come to realize, because I watched this man do his recovery journey, he was a beast. He was a beast. So one of the things that I understand about urges and addictions and the drive is, like I was talking about, going around that extra block for some Starbucks coffee. That extra drive, one of the things that I shared with him is that I know you didn't mean to endanger our children, but it's just like when you have to go to the bathroom so bad, and your body knows that you're by the toilet and you can't get your pants down fast enough, and the body just starts to do what it does. It doesn't know that you're not sitting on the toilet yet. You gotta pee. Anybody been in that level of like, oh my God, I gotta go so bad, that as you getting your clothes undone,
it,
your
the
body
urge
is going
gets
to the bathroom.
the
Yeah.
urge gets
It's just like
more and
I'm
more
free.
intense,
Yes.
more
And you
intense.
just
Yes,
burst. And
yes.
and it was just so, when I came home from work and smelled that, had a talk with him and said, hey, listen, I get it.
So I can read that.
And I gave him that analogy. You could have just seen the countenance on his face, like, oh my God, you get it. I do, but you
Right.
still gotta go. But
That is such a really good example.
Mhm.
Oh my God, I
Yeah.
love that. You
Yeah,
like
because that's what it's
look,
like. Mhm,
yes,
mhm.
yes. I want to read a few of the comments.
Okay.
We have somebody that says, I love Facebook. I love shopping. I love intimacy. LOL. Um, yeah, then that's coffee. Then there's coffee. I still have a good day with coffee, but I do get a headache after the second day of not having it. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that was Kim. Thank you so much, Kim, for sharing. Thank you guys for joining us. But that's what we mean. Like those things that we think that we are not addicted to. If you are scrolling social media and you look up and 3 and 4 hours have passed and you had other things to do, or even if you might have that's an addictive behavior.
And we all have a tendency to do it, and it's soothing, it's pleasure. So some people maintain addictions because of the control that it brings to them for their own healing, their own inner pains, or whatever voices or whatever. It's just about, I need to feel better. Like there's the traumatic side of the person that's using addiction that we
Right.
can talk about some other time, and then there's just the person that's on social media and that's on there every day and can't help but like pick up their phone. These things have been designed so that the brain does what it does. The brain needs the dopamine hit to see the likes, to see the colors,
Yeah.
to see the ideas.
Yeah.
If you turned off those things and went inward to yourself and said, well, what can I create? What can I design? What saying can I create? What meme can I create? But we don't have to do that anymore. We get these dopamine hits and we go and take somebody else's creation and say, oh, I like it. I like it. It is good. It is good.
Right.
And there's a
Right.
satisfaction in that because somebody is speaking our heart's message, sometimes on social media, or
Right.
because we are addicted to drama, we get to watch somebody else's life unfold before our eyes. And so these addictive behaviors have been kind of thrust upon us, just like
Hmm.
Percocet
Yes.
and all. I don't even know the names. I need to know them, but I don't know all the names of the prescription pain medications. They got so many of them now, and now they working in my department. They got medicines now that deal with the neurobiology of a person's body to stop
Yeah.
pain. They're working with the nervous system now. Pills
Yes.
that are
Yes.
supposed to help with the nervous system to heal the pain. Like you don't even realize that it's creeping in on you and it's healing the pain. And but I understand that those pills are addictive
Right.
because you're taking them and it's this relief, but it's whatever it's doing to the brain and the receptors is asking you for more and more and more. And people are taking them and they're not in pain. They're taking them because the receptors are saying we want more of this X plus Y times C
Yes. Because it made us feel good.
chemical in our brain because I had some form of euphoria
Yes. And we're
upon
always
taking it.
trying to get that initial euphoria back.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And addiction is like that longing for something we'll never have.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Hmm. Hmm.
Absolutely. And
Hmm.
you find, and I know we'll talk about this probably later on, then you find yourself going from one, if you kick one thing, you find yourself going from one
Yeah.
addiction to another. That's the addictive behavior, going from one
Hmm.
thing to the next thing. Um,
Hmm.
so you might not drink anymore, but now you're smoking marijuana and you find that you can't stop that.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you're hopping
Hmm.
around from one thing to another. Um,
Or even if you do stop it,
mhm.
I'll tell this story too. So I occasionally take coffee breaks, and in the past when I used to take coffee breaks, when I first started taking coffee breaks, let me go back to the beginning because this is when I knew I had a problem. When I first started taking coffee breaks, I would look up. I don't drink Coke. That's my girlfriend. She a Coke drinker. I don't drink Coke. Coke never appealed to me. When she see the red label, it's like I need one of those. Like that's her. That's not me. When I don't do coffee, I will look up and I'm in the McDonald's line ordering a large Coke. I don't drink Coke.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'm like, oh my God, Michelle, I'm ordering a Coke because my
Yeah.
body was like, I don't know what you think you're doing, but we're
But
doing
you're gonna
caffeine
do
today.
something. We're doing something today. I know what you think you're going. You think you can do this.
Exactly.
Okay,
You
we'll
just
just
look
go
up
to
and be
another
like,
level. Yeah.
yes, like I need
Yeah.
to get it. I don't buy fountain drinks. First of all, I don't do drive-throughs and I don't buy fountain drinks. And
Right.
I remember that time I was just like, I need a Coke. I need to go through the drive-through
Yeah.
or I need a sweet tea. And the
Yeah.
body is like, well, you might tell me no here, but I'm going to trick myself and do something else different. Like the person who may not be able to get outside and go shopping, but then
Line.
they just in whatever CBQ, I don't know what all they are.
Amazon is
The
the big
home
thing.
shop, Amazon right now, that
Yes.
should be illegal, but
Well,
it is a real
what I just
thing.
told someone is if you can think about it this way, when you go from one thing to the next, and I don't know, I didn't look this up, but they say if you chew ice a lot, you're low in iron, right?
Yes,
The body is going to tell you what it
yes,
needs. So
yes.
when you, with your coffee, decide I'm not doing that anymore, the body
Mhm,
says, yeah, no, I need caffeine.
mhm,
So you
mhm,
might not go to Starbucks, but you're going to go to
mhm,
McDonald's. So it's
mhm.
like
Or
your
else you're
body
gonna have
just
a
sits there.
headache. You're gonna be
Yes.
lethargic, just like a heroin addict.
And the
My body
brain
is
is
going to
so
tell.
very smart
It's
because it's
amazing.
always trying to help us to survive and do
Mhm.
something. It's always trying to protect us.
Yes.
So I'm going to protect you from
Keep
this
it from
pain of the
feeling pain.
headache and
Mhm,
the withdrawals. So
mhm,
we're going to guide you over here. So subconsciously you end up in the line at McDonald's for a Coca-Cola, right?
mhm. Yeah. I
Um,
witnessed. I'm telling you, it happens.
yes,
It happens, and I
it
challenge
absolutely
everybody
happens.
watching us to challenge yourself. If there's an area in your life where you're like, "Am I addicted to this?" I'm not addicted. Try not having it. Try turning off Instagram or Facebook. I'm sorry, y'all. He told me I'm a
She is
therapist.
not a Facebook person,
I am
but
not Facebook,
yeah,
but I have a Facebook page, of course. But
right.
I'm you hard pressed to see that I'm checking it and seeing what's going on. But that doesn't mean that I don't have other social media things that I look
Yes.
at because I'm a Google research fanatic, and so I'm always pulling it up, putting letters in. Sometimes I wonder, like, what if I just sit down and think? Maybe life, Holy Spirit, will give me an answer, but I'm going to research it right now.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't know if it's an addiction or not, but I know that I don't slow down to rely on my own self to get the things that I need. I reach outside of myself, and that's what addictive personalities do. They reach outside of it is to reach outside of yourself to
The comfort.
heal whatever needs to be healed or to soothe
Yeah.
whatever needs to be soothed or to and it's not it's our society. I haven't been to other societies, but our Western society is designed for this. To
Yes.
me, it's the zombie apocalypse,
Yes.
um, with just a different look on it. But I do think that, my humble opinion, that we've been lulled to sleep with a person. I mean, with addiction suggestions. Like when the COVID first broke out, everybody was like, "Well, drink."
Yeah.
Liquor stores stay open.
Yes.
Liquor stores
Yes.
stay open
Yep.
because
Um,
there's something about the comforting of whatever
right.
of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so um, I just had a conversation today about going from one thing to the next, not even with this live in mind. That conversation just came up. And the person's like, well, why, like, why does a person have to have this if they could easily get rid of that? Because you're always, like
Hmm.
you said, reaching for that euphoria that you got before. And I
Hmm.
think, too, and I think that some of these addictions come because we overestimate ourselves and
I
our
like
brain.
that.
We overestimate, oh, I'm not going to get hooked on that. Like, so I don't get addicted, or, with the judgment. So we overestimate, we give ourselves too much credit in a sense that, like, we are made of this body chemistry. And when you
Hmm.
start mixing things with the body chemistry,
Hmm.
you look up like me, um, and have this addiction. I didn't even know that I had a caffeine addiction because I was drinking decaf coffee.
Right.
And so I was challenged to do this detox. So I'm gonna do the detox. I'm good, And I thought, like, my main thing was sugar. So I thought, because I was having decaf coffee. Now that I think about it, with all kind of creamers and sugar in it, and The third day it's a 7-day detox. The third day of the
Mhm.
detox, I
That's the
didn't
day.
want to
That's
do
the
it
hardest.
myself. I literally, this is before the pandemic, this was a few years back. I literally had to leave work. Somebody said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I am not." I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't think. My brain was
It's
foggy.
cathartic.
A
Mm-hmm.
therapist, there's no point in meeting with somebody, and I cannot. Oh, Mariah, sorry. There's no need in meeting with someone, and I cannot totally be all there. I had a
Right.
headache. My body felt weak, and even still, I didn't realize what it was. Like, "Ooh, this detox just taking a lot out of me." And it was like, wait, decaf still has caffeine in it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, like it's not the sugar, it's the caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
Now I went home, took care of myself, didn't indulge because I was intent on finishing this detox, right? But I'm just saying, like, so it could start with us not even realizing that
Mm-hmm.
we're headed that way or that we're in it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't realize that you're addicted to food, and so you start to have some weight issues. Then
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, well, what have I been eating? Oh my God, I've been eating out. I've been eating sugar. I've been eating, whatever comfort stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And even when
Low energy stuff, because
love,
it's also it's low energy things
yes,
that a lot of times we can get addicted to, and we can get addicted to high energy things too. But I think the addictive part is the expectation, the intention, and the expectation that comes from this thing. So if I am, I had a friend describe smoking like, so this thing is now dictating that I now must get up from the table and go outside. Like we can't have a conversation here at the table and just talk after dinner. We need to go outside and have a talk after dinner so I can smoke a cigarette. It's
yes,
like it's telling you
what
what the
you need,
next move is.
yes,
And if you don't obey it, there are visceral experiences that you have on the inside of yourself
yeah,
that let you know that you are no longer in control. Your neurons are now running the show.
yes. And in these addictions too, they're addictions for we get involved in them, partake in them for a reason. Like we're trying to comfort something, soothe something, calm something.
And a
You
lot
know,
of it is subconscious.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, like that trip to McDonald's that I took, I'm on the phone, I'm driving home. I had a stressful day, but I didn't feel stressed. And I'm in
Mm-hmm.
McDonald's line. And Stephanie's like, "Why are you in McDonald's line?" And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Girl, I I drove here on autopilot. I did not mean to make the left turn into this place." And then we started to talk about my day and what had happened in my day. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
stressed." And
Mm-hmm.
just autopilot, I made that left into the McDonald's instead of just keeping straight to my street and making the right.
It's amazing.
Yeah. God
It's
is,
real.
our bodies are amazing. And
And if you can command, if the mind can command that,
yes.
huh,
Yes.
what now?
Absolutely.
What
Absolutely.
now? But we have to get the other stuff under control. We have to make
Yeah.
this body, or not the body, but the mind subjective, the brain, because the mind runs the brain. So the mind subjective to what you truly want. And and I think the hardest part of addictive behavior is letting go of the addiction. Like that's
Yeah.
really, I mean, it's a very hard withdrawal. You know, people, oh, heroin addicts or whatever. We all have withdrawal from things.
Yes.
Like it's
Yes.
a serious thing. I watched my teenagers go through it with their phones. I don't know if it's
Relationships. How
addiction.
about relationships?
Yeah, love addiction and relational addiction is really good. And it should have been put on here. There's a whole book series or whatever, but I think they list that under codependency, which is a whole nother topic. But it's still and it's also a need that hasn't been fulfilled subconsciously, and
Yeah.
that people get involved in it. Video games show up. So video games in itself is like, we grew up with video games. I'm not addicted to video games, but video games today, the content of video games has been created so
Yeah.
that the brain wants more of that excitement, the dopamine. It literally sends experiences through the body and the brain that actually feel good. Um,
Yeah.
that make the body do the same thing that that we used to walk around teasing crackheads about. Your brain is doing the exact same thing that a crackhead's brain is doing. If you shopping
Exactly.
and spending excessively, your brain is doing the same thing that a his brain is doing. You're no different. We're all on the same playing field. When it comes to my coffee, same thing. One is no different than the other,
Yeah.
except the outcomes may have a greter impact on the outcome. But what I'm doing
The
to my body and how my
yeah.
brain is processing it, I am no
It's the
different.
same. Which is what brings me to, and I keep going back to the sugar thing, what brings me to when people are trying to detox and you're advised not to do this the artificial sugars and things like that,
Yeah.
because the brain still gets the same message. It's
Mhm.
sweet, and that's what
Mhm.
I want. And so
Mhm.
don't be surprised, aside from the fact that it has a lot of additives that are not good for you, but don't be surprised if you do start to reach for things that are real, that have
Mhm.
real sugar in them, because you really haven't um, told the brain really that no, we're not doing this
Mhm.
by
Mhm.
adding artificial sugars,
Mhm.
imitation sugars. Um, the brain is still hearing, reading sugar, sweet,
Mhm.
still
Mhm.
still reading sweet.
Mhm.
And I've heard doctors say that as well. Like, if you're gonna have sugar,
Yes.
because when you have the substitutes, it's not doing any good. It's not doing
Mhm.
what you. And again, that's what I was going back to. What I was thinking about addictions. We end up there because we don't think that we can be addicted. We think we are uh, more powerful than our brains, if you will.
Mhm.
We think
Mhm.
that not me. We think that, oh, I'm okay. And by the time some time has passed, by the time I'm overweight, then I think about, oh my God, all the sugar and how hard it is to stop, or all the carbs and how
Mhm.
hard it is for me to stop. So we don't
Mhm.
think about it at the first drink, right? We don't think
Right.
about it in. We don't think about it at the first cup. We don't think about it in marijuana, the first joint. We don't, it's not until it has gone on, and then we look back and think and see, oh my God, like I have like been doing this.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've been doing it
And I've been
consistently,
doing
and
it, and how it's impacting my life, and the changes that I've made in my life to accommodate this experience, to have this experience, to do this experience, to be in it. That you can tell because you'll start noticing shifts in your life. People who have
yes,
pornography challenges, and they find themselves, with integrity issues because they are needing the hit, so they're scrambling around to do whatever. And the fact that if it's one sign, if it makes you shame to talk about it, you might want to consider what's going on with you. Just
yeah,
if you can't say, hey, I just got through watching 2 hours of porn, what's up?
right.
If that's not what goes on for you, if that's not your first, if you're like, what you doing? Nothing, nothing, just chilling, watching. That's
Just
the
watching
sign.
TV. Just watching TV.
Just watching TV. Right. That's the sign. That's the sign when you know
That's
that
so true. Because even
when you
with
have to
drinking,
hide it.
if you're having a drink, you can say, "Oh, I'm having a drink." When it gets
Mm-hmm.
to be an addiction, and somebody might ask, you're not so willing to give up the information.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just had 3 bottles of wine or whatever. You're not so quick to give that up.
Mm-hmm.
So that is
Mm-hmm.
totally true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, just those are little telltale signs. It's not like carte blanche across the whole world, but I not across all possible addictions, but those are some of the signs. When even babies know when to hide. Like, I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah.
So it's a
Puppies,
natural. Mm-hmm.
puppies, who got this garbage everywhere? And they just shrink away like, I don't know
Right.
who you're talking to.
Exactly.
Yep, babies,
Exactly.
you're right.
So it's in us to know and recognize when we are not in our authenticness and when we are hiding from those that are around us or from life or whatever. So I don't want to go off into a tangent. I want to stick with addictive behaviors.
Right.
But yeah, so this is a really good topic. food.
Yeah.
Um,
And
some
I'm looking at
people,
one too, like work.
oh
We know we
yeah.
don't think about that with that being an addiction. We think like we're just working
Hmm.
extra hard for the family or
Hmm.
whatever.
Hmm.
But no, work, you can overwork. How do you know what's the difference though between being passionate about
Working
what I
hard.
do and it being an addiction?
Hmm.
Like
So
so
some of the things are the motive. It's no, all of the things are the motive and the intention. And that is something that most people are not um, trained
mhm.
in a caring manner to pay attention to. You know, people, why you do that? Well, that's not caring, it's accusatory. And it doesn't promote the brain to stop and say, what was my intention about making that choice?
Yeah.
And one of the healing processes in addiction or any behavior that may be called bad or distasteful behavior is to stop and evaluate, why am I making this choice? Why am I in this tone? Why am I arriving and showing up? Who is this that's showing up
Yeah.
in this moment, in this experience? But that it is super important for us, I would
Yeah.
speak as a clinician and as a parent and as a partner in a relationship. It is super important for us to create a space where we can get an intention understood.
Yes.
Because when you understand an intention, then you can understand a behavior. But if we don't take the time to learn the intention, we can't change the behavior. And so
Right.
when people with addictions come to us, we got to help them to know what the motivation and the intention is that started this whole journey
Right.
of addiction for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, four things. Four. Okay, so
You
I
got
have this little
company,
note.
girl.
I, every time she moves, we just gonna be transparent on this show. Stuff that happens. Now, I almost got hit in the head with a mirror. Almost had coffee wasted on me. The one
This
time
is
I left
a
them in the
really
little
good
studio.
topic. This topic is the universe is like, yeah, yeah. And the forces that
Oh
don't
my
want it to be
God, move.
discussed,
But
this is the
nonetheless,
topic.
we are going to continue this Facebook Live, this YouTube Live.
We're
Okay, and my little one. Can I tell y'all my little one is 23 years old? So thank you all for watching. I didn't get a chance to say that, but what I was going to say is that four things that I looked up was the four C's of addiction and addictive behaviors. And so there's compulsiveness, compulsion,
mm-hmm.
cravings, consequences, and control. And the
I
compulsion,
like that.
yeah, the overpowering urge to fuel the addiction,
Mm-hmm.
right? The overpowering urge.
Like
Um,
going to get that cigarette. I got it. You got to
yeah,
go get that smoke after
yeah,
dinner. Mm-hmm.
like yeah, you're
Mm-hmm.
compulsive about getting it done,
Mm-hmm.
right? The
Mm-hmm.
craving is the urge itself,
Mm-hmm.
but the compulsion is you're gonna do whatever it takes to
Mm-hmm.
satisfy the craving. So
Mm-hmm.
you're acting compulsively to get it done.
Yes.
The consequences are you continue even when the consequences are negative.
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna shop. I don't have
know.
any money. I'm gonna drink coffee. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna drink even though my spouse may get angry or I could lose my job. I'm gonna work even though my family misses me, and that's a negative, consequence. But and we make up in our minds excuses for the behavior. Well, I'm
Right.
working like I am because we need the money, or you know,
Yeah.
well, I'm shopping because I work. I can shop if I work, so I can shop,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even though you're shopping and you really don't have the extra money to do this, we make
Mm-hmm.
excuses
Mm-hmm.
for that.
Well, that's
But
where the
so
intention
continue.
would come in. Mm-hmm.
Say that
Mm-hmm.
again. I didn't
The
hear you.
intention. That's where the intention, learning and being able to get clear and honest and transparent about the intention. That's where
Yes,
you need help and support. That's what help and support is
yes,
for. Just being able to call a thing, own your intention, and then
yes.
move forward. Because you're not working because you want to shop. Like that's maybe not true.
Right. And then the
Mm-hmm.
last C is control. So when or
Oh,
how the person feels their addiction is lost. So like you have no control. You no
right,
longer have control. You
right.
turn left into the McDonald's.
Yes,
You turn
yes.
left into the McDonald's with the Coca-Cola
Mm-hmm.
instead of
Mm-hmm.
going home. You,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you find yourself eating 5 slices of cake. You
Mm-hmm.
find yourself drinking 3 bottles of wine instead of the one. But like there, you totally lost
Mm-hmm.
control over, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is how I explain it because I also work with the private practice that I am working alongside with is also an addiction, mainly alcohol, well, substance abuse addiction. We
Mm-hmm.
treat people with addictions. And so,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things I say to clients to make this make sense, like we don't admit it because we don't want to feel like we're weak or out of control.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how I explain. You have this brain, you have this organ that is so very strong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk about alcohol. It is made to affect you the way it affects you.
Yes.
That's why it is made.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it doesn't affect you that way, you do not continue to buy it, or
Mm-hmm.
you'll buy it sporadically. But if you have an addiction to it, you're going to keep coming back. That is
Mm-hmm.
what it's made for.
Mm-hmm.
Cigarettes, that is what it's made for. It
Right.
causes you to
Because
have
without, I mean, everything is about the,
a dollar.
the dope man and the fiend. Like this is our whole society is set
Yes.
up in a reciprocity way like that. And it's not set up in a reciprocity way like I love you so much. If you want this, I have
Right.
this for you. No, I'm
Right.
so insecure about your ability. First of all, I know how amazingly created you are, and
Yes.
that if I didn't create this dishonesty or this chemical or salt and sugar together, you would never want this again because your real
Yes.
self knows that this is garbage.
Yes.
So I'll
Yes.
create an environment and I'll create marketing and I'll do all the things that are necessary
Yes.
to connive and
To reel
deceive
you
you,
in, to lure you
to
in.
win, to lure you in so that I can make money or I can have you in my space. Whatever the reason is that we get addicted, but it's all intentional.
It's
Um,
all intentional.
all
And so
intentional.
so just think about you're not this weak person, right?
No.
But you are standing up against this entire system
Yes.
that is created to make you keep spending money.
Yes.
And when
Yes.
you take when you take you out of it, when you take your self-esteem out of it,
Hmm.
then we can combat this thing a
Hmm.
little bit better because now you're not thinking about, oh my God, I'm too intelligent to be addicted to something, or
Yeah,
it's
I was
not
just going to ask
about
when you say take you out of it. What do you mean? Can you
when I say
clarify that?
take you out of it, like
Mhm.
you have that, like you're so we're so great that I can't be addicted, so
Yeah.
great that I cannot fall prey to
Yeah.
the thing. We're all
Yeah.
human, right?
Yeah.
And so again, like you said, we are appealed to through our senses,
Hmm.
all of them. It smells good,
Hmm.
it tastes good, they make it look
Hmm.
good, right?
Hmm.
All of our senses, we are appealed through those senses. And we're
Hmm.
gonna do and we're gonna act based on those senses. God
Hmm.
gave those to us, and you guys know we're spiritual. So you gotta
Hmm.
keep it first and foremost in the very front of any and everything that you do, or you
Hmm.
will fall prey to that, right? But I have people to come in and it's like, but I'm so intelligent and I have degrees, and how could I? How could I?
Man.
You are standing up against an entire system that continues. I deal a lot with college, people who were in, they went to college or are
Hmm.
in college and they start to drink because they're in college. I can
Uh,
tell you that you don't start to drink because you're in college.
mm-mm.
College just allows you the freedom to drink because you had things
Right.
going on in the
Drink
first
because you're
place.
scared.
Because you had things going on in the
You're
first
anxious.
place.
Right.
And college just gives you the platform to do it even more.
Right.
But your problem didn't start in college.
No,
Because
ma'am.
if you weren't drinking before college, you were doing something else to avoid whatever it is
Soothe,
you're avoiding in college.
yeah, to
To
soothe
soothe
yourself.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about
Yes.
soothing. It's about feeling good. It's about the pacifier. The amygdala and the hippocampus are hijacked. You're
Yes.
afraid, you're anxious, and so the body needs to calm down. I'm going to say this, I'm going to walk on water and say this, is that the reason why we want to bring this down or bring it under subjection is because we are greatness, we
Yes.
are God's essence, but if we haven't been programmed to know that, then
Yeah.
society gives us all the answers that they think we're going to use to be able to know that. But the secret is knowing who you are. I am, and
Yes.
then that's where life can take off from there. But we're not naturally, as a society and as a people, we're not programmed to have that information. And so when our amygdalas and hippocampuses and the primal brain gets hijacked
Yeah.
and afraid and fearful and full of anxiety and irrational thoughts and negative thought patterns and all that stuff starts going on, and you give me a glass of wine and I'm like,
It calms it all down.
oh, yes, I
When
don't even have to think
sometimes,
about
listen, just thought about this. When we talked about our deep subjects and we just stopped in the middle and say, take a deep breath.
it. Mm-hmm.
So if you guys were on here and you did that with us, you remember what that felt like? That's what that glass
Mm-hmm.
of wine feels like. So
Mm-hmm.
let's just take a breath. Like, just take a breath,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
Not
minimizing
minimizing that, right? I got
at all,
you.
but
Mm-hmm.
I understand that that glass of wine, when you take
Mm-hmm.
that, everything comes down. It has that same effect,
Mm-hmm.
right? I love
And then
how
like,
you
if you
say
hit
that.
the number, like
Mhm.
if you hit the lottery, if you play $1 and then you finally, like say you play $1 for 30 days, that's $30. And then you hit the lottery and you get $300. You minimize in your mind,
Mhm.
oh, that felt good to get the 300 and it was just $30. But when you look up after a while, you don't even know how much you spent for the month. In the beginning, well, I'll speak for myself. In the beginning, you calculate. I've never won the lottery, by the way. That I don't know how people do it, but God bless your ministry. But I
Yes.
can't do it because it takes a lot of money to lose. But in that, but people
Yes.
who spend every single day and they get that one hit of $300 after spending $30, $1 a day, and I'm being gracious, they are that dopamine, that
Yes.
thrill of winning. The
Yes.
$300 just raises the stake. That if
Yes.
I did too, because you are a genius, you are a genius. If you do $2 instead of one, you double your money. That's just freaking common sense, right?
Yes.
But it's how many $2 that you have to spend before you get the next hit.
Yeah. And I
And
can
its
see,
system is
I don't,
designed.
yeah. And I don't like to spend money gambling, but I have spent money in the slot
Mhm.
machines. I went to Vegas, and I have a limit, like $5 or whatever, when I
Mhm.
win. But I
Mhm.
can see, like, they got all the bells and
Yep.
whistles, they appealing to your senses. You like
Yes.
feels putting it in. You like how it
Yep.
sounds putting it in. And
Mhm.
then all of a sudden, ding, 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 so much
My
falls
I've
out.
been chosen. Dealer, I've been chosen. I've been chosen. I've been chosen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so that can,
This is my machine. When you're all possessive.
there's another one. There was eat, not eBay. Wait, is that where you bid in eBay?
eBay. Oh, remember we did that when we were homeschooling?
Girl, now
Now
I'm
I'm
not
just
looking
like,
for
buy it
books.
now. I'm like, buy it now. I don't have time to play with you.
But
Oh,
look, the idea that
that
I
I'm
can
going
win the
to get.
bid,
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
it's a
Remember
homeschool book.
that?
I want the book, but
Yes.
the idea that I could win the bid
Yes.
is
It was,
appealing.
yes. It's
Something
very
that
appealing.
simple. And yes, we needed the books.
Yes.
Perhaps I didn't need the next thing that I was bidding on.
Right.
And the
Exactly.
disappointment that you feel when you don't win.
Don't
I gotta
win.
up the stakes because I have to win,
Yes.
right? Or
Mhm.
so we love to feel good and we love to win.
We
And so we
do.
love those little bags we get at workshops. They got a pen
Mhm.
in it just because
Mhm.
my name was pulled, right? So we love to
Mhm.
win. We love to
Mhm.
feel good.
Love to
I
feel good, and
like
that's
the
what
word
the
that
behavior
you
gives us.
use about intention. Go ahead
Mhm.
and finish your thought because I want to talk about intention and what we can do as far as um, combating and start to work toward healing in some of these addictions?
So it's a lot of steps to have to be taken,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I really want to just address and say that if you think that don't be going to the person across the street from you or the person sitting beside you on the couch, because that ain't your business. But if you
Yes.
think that
Yes.
you are struggling with an addiction, or you think that, oh, I might need to, I wonder what it would be like if I stopped having such and such, or if I put the
Right.
videos in, I wonder what it would be like if I didn't do Facebook for the next 7 days,
Yes.
7 hours, and not be asleep, 7 hours, like awake, without looking, touching face. I'm gonna even take the app off my phone. And then sit with yourself and see what goes on for you. Um, or
Yes.
um, I like to be able to say I ain't looked at Facebook in 14 days, and people be like, "What? Like the whole world might have come to an end. You still? I'm here." But
It did actually didn't come to an end because I'm still here.
but yeah, so I was back to attention. So when you notice the thing, you get to choose the thing. It could be anything, whatever your thing is. Ask yourself, what is the intention behind it? What is the idea of that behind it? Um, I could say, oh, I love coffee, but I could just as well drink Folgers. Now let me say, I do drink Folgers pretty much every day. I don't go to Starbucks every day. I do drink Folgers every day, but I got to amp it up. I got to add I make a big production out of coffee because there's something about the caffeine. I just needed to have a certain little hit for me. But when I don't have it, I know that I don't have it, and I know I'm going to suffer when I don't have it. What is my intention? Why do I drink it? Because now I don't want to suffer.
Right.
I don't want to feel what it feels like not to have coffee. That's why I drink it.
Yeah.
So we got to get clear about the intention of why
Right.
we're doing what we're doing. I continue to do this because I don't want to feel the effects of it. Now, when I got my juice machine going and I got all my fresh fruit and fresh vegetables and whatever, and I got all my little pacifiers, that's what I call, I'll put coffee down and then I juice and go fanatic over it because I don't want to feel the pain. So I learned how to put good food in my body,
The good
alkalize my
stuff.
body, so I don't have to suffer from the withdrawals. But I can tell you, if I don't have time to live that lifestyle when I'm doing something, I won't let coffee go. And I'm just being
Right.
transparent. And I can because it's legal. It's
Right.
illegal. I couldn't be so
And
bold.
so just like you have to figure out the intention behind it, you have to be very intentional when you
Yes,
are trying not to do it.
yes,
So you
very.
have to be intentional about how you're treating your body. Like you said, you juice, you get all those
Mhm.
vitamins and minerals. You making sure that you don't feel that. There's nothing wrong with that because
Yes.
those things are
I set
healthy.
myself up. I up my
Yes.
magnesium. I do all
Exercise.
the things, exercise. So I know my body's gonna be screaming and hollering at me, and that's self care. And so I get myself in a space where I can take care of myself, even
Yeah.
if it means staying in a hotel the first 2 nights by myself, where I'm not influenced by other people making coffee, other people in my household doing what they do, because I don't hold other people responsible for my personal happiness. Like, I'm doing this, you need to do it too. That's a whole nother clinical appointment. But the reality is that when I decide to not drink coffee, which I do off and on, I have my spells, but you got to take care of yourself. But the thing
Yeah.
is for me is that I had to get clear about the intention of why I'm drinking this. I am
Yeah.
drinking this, number one, because I want the hit. And then number two is because I don't want to feel what it feels like not to have it.
Right. And so you have to be, again, as intentional about what you're going to do to help you to free yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
not going to be easy. We're talking about
Mm-hmm.
caffeine. We're
No,
talking about, it's not easy at
change is
all.
hard. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so
Mm-hmm.
you
But
got to be
doable
intentional on a
and rewarding.
daily basis. Because what you
Yes.
will find is if you're not intentional and you don't do this thing, you haven't done that thing or that thing or that thing, that's a good thing, right? You look
Mm-hmm.
back and think, how did I end up here? Oh, because I fell off. Oh my gosh, I haven't exercised. I didn't eat right. I didn't. You find all these things that you did not do
Mm-hmm.
unintentionally because subconsciously you just
Mm-hmm.
didn't do them,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so you got to be intentional about that. if that's where you're trying to head. That's if that's the direction you're going because you want to
Mhm.
stop that thing. Now,
Mhm.
by all means, if you love coffee and you do not want
Have
to
at
stop,
it.
have at it.
Have at it.
And we're using coffee because we can identify what coffee and
Yeah.
sugar and things like that, but we are not eliminating other things, you know,
No.
not eliminating other things. But we use addictions to fill the void of
Yes.
whatever is happening. And
Yes.
that's any addictions. That's
That's a whole nother topic for like next
love,
week because
sex,
yes,
porn, all of that. We use
yes.
it to fill that void, to fill a
It's
void.
always there
Um,
to. It's a control mechanism to soothe my hurt or soothe the
yeah.
neuroplasticity of my brain that's vibrating like this. That
Yes.
I need to soothe that. I
Right.
need to have the connection, and this gives me connection some kind of way. That's why I say that the best thing is to work with somebody, or if
Yes.
you know how to do it, figure out what the intention is. But you need somebody to challenge your rationale because
Yeah.
I would always say I'm not drinking. I'm not drinking coffee because I don't want to feel the what it feels like to be withdrawal. I had other excuses as to why I wouldn't not drink. I mean, why I kept drinking coffee until I got clear about my truth. Now that I'm clear about my truth, I can stop, do what I got to do, and get back on when I want to get back on. But I had to
Right.
get clear that the reason I'm not stopping is because I don't want to feel the withdrawals. I don't want to. That's how heroin addicts get free. Once they accept the fact that I'm going to have these withdrawals, I'm willing to
Yes.
take the sickness, I'm willing to have these most people get free when they understand that I'm not freeing myself because we are intelligently made. There's no mistakes about who
Yeah.
we are. We are the most phenomenal beings. We just haven't been told and we haven't been reminded and we haven't been
Right.
made to know that we use people use addictions and then what comes with it is shame. And
Yeah.
so to avoid shame and disgrace, we just do some amazing
Yeah.
tricks with
And I
ourselves
like
because
the
we are
idea
amazing.
of finding someone to help you if you can, because
Hmm.
not only are they going to help you be intentional about step one, step two, and things like that, they're going to also remind you about how
Yeah.
awesome you are, how
Mhm.
intelligent you are. You did
Mhm.
not fall into this because you're unintelligent. You did not
No,
fall into this because you
the
didn't fall into
society.
it. Right. Right. And
Mhm.
so that's part of one of the things that I found that I've had to combat with to help clients combat with is that you're not unintelligent. You are intelligent. Yes, you have. That's not how you fell into this.
No. Now
You fell
let's
into
find
this,
out.
right? Right. And most times it's way before you got that degree.
That's right.
It's
Mhm.
way before.
Mhm.
So,
Oh,
um,
way before.
yeah, so way
Mhm.
before. Um, I don't know if we had any more to add, but we're like 10 after the hour.
This
Um,
is a juicy subject, so
yes.
I love it.
I
Yeah.
think you guys, drop some comments even afterwards. If you didn't, if somebody didn't see it, please share this so people can see it. Drop comments under it if you want to hear more about this topic. We'll definitely do that. We'll have more about the topic. You are how we decide what we're
Mhm.
going to talk about.
Mhm.
Um, Carmelita says, "Thank you, Queens, for caring enough to share this free," and she capitalized free counseling. You're providing a wealth of information. This allows many of us the opportunity to stop and think about
That's
our
it.
habits.
That's
Yep.
all we want.
And that's in caps, stop and think about
Mhm.
our habits, intentions, and determine where and why we need to make adjustments in our lives.
Mhm.
Um, no worries, Carmelita. Thank you so much for tuning in. We
And because
appreciate you.
life is nothing more, and I got this from, I'm gonna put a shout out. I don't even know if they watch me, but John and Minnie Hardy. One of the things that they would say to, one of the things that I've known them to say is that life is about adjustment and
Yeah.
making those adjustments, adjust. And so this here, just throwing out intention. Pay attention to your intention is an adjustment. It's the one way that you can adjust. You may not quit, you may not stop doing anything, but now you know that you can at least pay attention to the intention.
You can
Pay
pay
attention to the
attention.
intention and keep asking yourself, your Holy Spirit, highest self, what is my
Right.
intention for doing this? What am I
Mm-hmm.
doing? Why am I doing it?
Yes.
Why is this why am I having this experience? Real quick, I remember when I was saved, first got saved. You know how when you first get saved, you want your whole family saved.
Right.
So I'm knocking on my mom's door and I'm like, Mama, you got it. No, you want to accept Jesus Christ as Savior. You don't go to hell. And I'm all crying like, I want everybody with me, whatever. And she was smoking her cigarette. I was like, well, if this is sin, it sure feel good. And I'm not giving it up.
Yes.
It wasn't sin, Mama. It was just an addiction. But but at the
Right.
time, it was just so interesting that she like, yeah, no, ain't nobody. I'm not doing that. Not
Right.
today. Not,
Right.
So that's the cutest thing that I will never forget that about the whole addiction thing. That my mother is like, I enjoy smoking. She was there. You know how my mother is.
Right.
I
Right.
like it. I
Yes.
enjoy smoking. I'm like, all right, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna take your cigarettes away from you. But
If, and if you do want to stop, whatever it is, I,
yes,
well, first I want to say this because I might forget it's already done. You just need to go through the process.
that's it. It's a done
Already
deal.
done. You just need to go through the process, right? I want to
Hmm.
tell this really quick thing. We were in class when I was in school, and we had an addictions class. And one of the things that the teacher said was she read this long list, this long letter to us. We were like, "Oh my God, what did we do to her? Why is she being so abrupt with us?" And she just, you come in here and you do this and you do that and you get on your computers and you're drinking your coffee and da 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 da. She was going on and on, and we were like, "Oh my God," we did not know it was part of the class. And so at the end of the letter, she says, at the end of the night, you have to choose something now. So at the end of the night, you are no longer doing it for a month. And we were like, when I tell you, if it was Facebook, people that when we went on break, they did not move because they needed to get some more Facebook in. If it was coffee, if they bought a small, people were going to Starbucks getting a large. If it
Hmm.
was chocolate, people were raiding the stores getting. So it's kind of that thing about it's something about that you can't have it anymore
Hmm.
that drove, that addiction. That's how strong the
He holds
addiction.
on. Like, yeah, no. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. With no
We can talk
substitute,
about that
no
next
pill.
week. We can talk about like, oh my God, like how that happens and what it does in the brain. And this is my baby right
Less.
here. 'Cause,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
we'll do the
hmm
behaviors part two next week. But I
yeah.
do want to end with this again. If you have an addictive behavior that you have recognized and you do want to stop it, get some assistance. Again, you can reach out to us. You can find me on Psychology Today, Facebook under Michelle Wallace Bird. You can find me on Instagram at Mrs. Bird LPC. You can find me on YouTube, Heads Up Mental Clarity. You can find me in a lot of places. My not email address, website, Chicago Compass Counseling. You can find me there. Again, and then you can. The process is already done. The thing is already done. You just have to go through the process. And where can
Mhm.
we find you, Steph?
Info at lamplightcounseling.net. Let's talk MFT at gmail.com. Any questions? And thank you for some people who have sent some questions about some other subject to Let's Talk uh, MFT on the Gmail. That's how you can just send an email to me directly. You can send me Facebook. I'm very seldom on it, but bring it on. Stephanie McCain on Facebook, and yeah, pretty much that's it. But if you want to reach me, just go ahead and email me at Let's Talk MFT Marriage and Family Therapist at gmail.com, or where I'm in the practice that is lamplightcounseling.net, info at lamplightcounseling.net.
Yeah, you can email me, but I would suggest using my private practice email, and that's Michelle at ChicagoCompassCounseling.com.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle at ChicagoCompassCounseling.com. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate
Thanks. This has been
you.
fun. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, Sister
Namaste.
Fran.
Awesome.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye. Oh, sure.
Do I need to do anything on my end?
Nope.